The way that people are getting divorced in 2025 is changing fast. It is not like it was a decade ago, maybe not even 5 years ago. There are some pretty interesting trends that are happening, that have been happening over the last few years, and that are continuing to happen that you should know about. So if you know anyone who's thinking about getting divorced or separated, or if you're right in the throes of it, you should start considering these things. Welcome back to Divorce Den, everyone, where our goal is to destigmatize the big D word and help you create the best future for yourself after divorce. Okay, now let's get into the trends of 2025 when it comes to getting divorced. Number one, gray divorces. More people than ever before are getting divorced later in life, meaning in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and sometimes beyond. Now, the reason that this is so shocking is because we're not talking about people who are on their second or third marriage, even though that's possible as well. What I'm talking about is people who have been married for 20, 30 years, and they've decided, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm in my 50s or 60s, the kids are grown, the kids are out on their own, and now I'm looking at my partner and thinking, this isn't the life that I want. I want to be able to lead my own financial future, my own single future, my own everything. I want to be able to live my own life, live in my own house, make my own meals, make my own decisions for my future, and not be married to this person anymore. And the reality is that more women in general are filing for divorce against men than men are against women. And when it comes to gray divorces, that number is even higher. One of the first reasons, like I touched on, was because women want to be able to lead their own financial lives. They don't want to be tied down to everyday decisions, right, from where you're going to eat to bigger decisions as to where you're going to live or where you're going to be investing your money. They don't want to be tied down to that with a partner who's making the decisions for them or who's making decisions that rub against maybe their own values. They know now that they have their own value financially. They can make their own investments, they can make their own decisions, and they don't have to stay married for the sake of the kids. The kids are gone. Financially, they can be independent. The second one is longer lifespans, right? In general, we are living longer. Women live longer than men. So women are in their late 50s, going into their 60s and thinking, wait a minute, I still have another 20 or 30 years left on this earth. I don't have to be stuck in a bad marriage when I'm doing that, right? I can be single. I can go and find romance again. I can do whatever it is that I want, but I don't have to be married to this person. It's not working for me. I'm moving on. And a third one might be that the stigma is gone. There used to be a huge stigma around getting divorced that might still be there in some cultures, some religions, some pockets, but the truth of the matter is more than 50% of the people who are getting married are getting divorced. So people know about it. People are talking about it more. That real societal stigma that was overarching throughout the country is really gone. So they know that they can move forward without maybe that shame or people looking at them like, what's wrong with you because you got divorced? No, their neighbors probably got divorced, right? So that stigma being removed and the other factors, people in their 50s and beyond are thinking, I'm going to live my best life after divorce. So if this sounds like you and you're over the age of 50 and you're thinking about divorce, start thinking about your finances a little bit more seriously than maybe you would if you were in your 20s or 30s, because you just have a little bit less time to start thinking about retirement, investment, how you're going to live. So start thinking about those things, get yourself a CDFA, a certified divorce financial analyst, and start getting your money to work for you and your future after your divorce. Trend number 2 is less people are actually getting divorced. There are a lot of reasons for that, but one of the number one reasons is that more people are choosing not to get married. So if more people aren't getting married, then naturally more people are not getting divorced. A lot of younger people are realizing that maybe they don't want to get divorced. Maybe they don't want to enter into this legal contract with another person when they're not sure how their future is going to look. They're choosing to live independently and then having a partner who is there with them, whether they're living together, whether they're not, whether they're raising a family together or not. They're choosing to intertwine their lives together without actually signing that contract and getting their marriage license. Couples raising a family, having a business, maybe having a house, having shared income and debt, and not being married poses a whole series of other issues, or can pose a whole series of other issues. And that's something that you should certainly speak to a family law attorney in your area about. Maybe creating a cohabitation agreement that the both of you are satisfied with, because as much as going through divorce really can be challenging and it can be quite expensive sometimes, marriage itself actually offers certain protections in New York under the domestic relations law that allow the court to help determine what it is that will happen to certain assets, your income, spousal support, those kind of things. Where if you're never actually married, but you're living together as you're married, there's no common law in New York, so you don't have the same protections. You want to make sure that you have some type of agreement drafted as to the expectations. But again, one of the big trends of people not getting married is leading a little bit to a decline in divorce. So if you're thinking about entering into a relationship with someone and you don't want to get married, that's fine. But make sure that you're thinking very carefully about a cohabitation agreement and how the two of you want to work out that relationship while you're living together. A third trend that I will admit I'm very happy to see is that more people are choosing the mediation route. A lot of people still don't know about the collaborative divorce model, but more people do know about mediation, and they're trying to make more decisions on their own. This self-determination of people saying, I don't need the court to make that decision for me. Let me enter into a different realm, a different area of us trying to navigate through how we're going to parse out these lives and separate our finances and work out custody of our kids. They're trying to figure out a different way to do it, and I'm all for it. Number one, divorce mediation can be significantly cheaper than if you're going to court. Litigation drains you financially. I mean, it just really does. So mediation is really a way for you to be more cost conscious and for you to spend your money much more wisely. Number two, it can be much quicker. If you're litigating a case in Supreme Court, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you it can take years. It can take years to get divorced. Whereas in mediation, if the both of you are working toward, advancing this, even if you have to take breaks here and there, even if it goes a little bit slower, you can get it done in significantly less time, like less than half the time of if you go to court. And lastly, mediation is honestly just better for you. It's better for your kids. It's better for your mental health. It's just better for you overall. When you go through litigation, you will see how ugly it is. It gets very personal. It gets very nasty. It gets very, very contentious very quickly. Mediation is not set up that way. So it's really just better for you overall. So if you're thinking about getting divorced and you want to think of a way to reduce the amount of money that you're spending, the amount of time, and the amount of stress, mediation might be the way. Another trend that is happening is that social media is being brought into divorces more and more. This one sounds a little wild, right? Like social media is being brought into divorces. How is that? Well, number one, there have been reports of people saying that social media actually ruined their marriage, right? That somebody was either addicted to their social media and they were basically checked out of the marriage because they were always on their phone, they were always scrolling, they were always engaging in this social realm as opposed to engaging with their partner. But in addition, there are a lot more people who are putting their personal lives out there on social media. They're posting pictures of themselves, giving details of themselves, posting pictures and details about their children. So there's just a lot more of our personal lives, the behind the scenes, that's being put out there on social media. So that on its own can be problematic. But if there's something that you're putting out there on social media that you don't want people to know about when you're getting divorced, I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably going to be found. People are using text messages, social media posts, any sort of screen grabs that they can get. They are using that when it comes to litigation, when it comes to trying to prove you wrong, trying to prove infidelity, trying to prove that you were somewhere that you said you weren't, trying to prove that you're an unfit parent. Big deal. So you need to think about what it is that you're putting out there on social media, how you're engaging in this virtual world, and the way that it's really shaping divorce trends going forward. Moral of the story is Instagram and TikTok, they're fun to scroll through, but beware of what you post. And lastly, something that a lot of people don't think about, when it comes to spousal support, a lot of states are changing sort of the way that spousal support works, whether it's some states doing away with lifetime spousal support, or some states maybe changing their formulas. A lot more women are higher earners now, and they are actually paying spousal support to the men. So it's just something to think about, that more wives are paying spousal support to husbands than ever before. And that's because women are out there in the workforce and earning a lot more. So don't forget, before you get married, women, think about a prenup, number one. Number two, when you're getting divorced, you want to make sure that you're negotiating your settlement very, very smartly. You want to make sure that you're doing it in a way that's going to leave you protected if you have to pay spousal support. Maybe you trade off for a different asset, or maybe you negotiate how it is that you're going to be paying that spousal support. How much money, how long, those types of things. So start to think about that, because if you're the higher earner, chances are you may have to pay spousal support. What do you think? Do any of these trends surprise you? Is there anything that maybe you're seeing, that you're hearing about, people buzzing about? Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to drop us a comment and let us know any topics that you want to hear us discuss. And we look forward to seeing you the next time on Divorce Den.